Ever found yourself tangled in the complexities of looping through arrays in PHP? It's a common challenge that web developers often face. Arrays, as we all know, are a crucial part of any programming language, and PHP is no exception. They store multiple values in a single variable, making them incredibly useful. But when it comes to traversing these arrays, things can get a bit tricky. Traditional loops like for or while can certainly get the job done, but they can also be cumbersome, requiring you to manually manage the loop counter and condition. It can quickly turn into a juggling act, especially when working with multi-dimensional arrays. This complexity can lead to errors, and let's face it, nobody has time for that. So you might be asking yourself, isn't there a more efficient way to navigate through arrays? What if there was a more streamlined approach? Enter the for-each loop in PHP. The for-each loop in PHP, a versatile tool for every web developer's arsenal. Let's take a closer look at this powerful construct. At its core, the for-each loop offers a simple, efficient way to cycle through arrays. But what makes it truly stand out is its ability to work seamlessly with key-value pairs. Now, let's break down the syntax. The for-each loop starts with the keyword for-each, followed by parentheses. Inside these parentheses, you'll find two parts. The first part is the array you want to loop through, and the second part is a variable that will hold the current item in the array for each iteration. But what if your array uses keys and values? Well, that's where the as keyword comes into play. This keyword is used to define a variable for the key. So the syntax becomes for-each array as key equals sign value, where key is the array key, and value is the corresponding array value. Let's see this in action. Imagine you have an associative array of fruits with their colors. The for-each loop would iterate through each key-value pair, allowing you to perform operations with both the fruit name and its color. But the beauty of the for-each loop extends beyond associative arrays. It's just as useful with indexed arrays. With an indexed array, the key becomes the index, and the value becomes the element at that index. This means you can manipulate elements based on their position in the array. The for-each loop therefore provides an elegant solution for traversing arrays, whether they're indexed or associative. It's a more intuitive way to work with arrays, eliminating the need for manual counters and reducing the chance for off-by-one errors. So that's the for-each loop, a more sophisticated approach to traverse arrays. But what makes it a standout? Why should you choose the for-each loop over other looping techniques in PHP, you might ask? Well, the for-each loop brings to the table a plethora of benefits that make it a compelling choice. For starters, its simplicity. The for-each loop is straightforward and easy to use, even for beginners. You don't need to keep track of index numbers or worry about off-by-one errors. Next up is readability. For-each loops make your code cleaner and easier to understand. Instead of confusing conditional statements and incrementing index numbers, you're just telling PHP to do something for each item in an array. And let's not forget about efficiency. For-each loops are capable of handling more complex structures like associative and multi-dimensional arrays with ease. No more nested loops or complex logic. Just a simple, clean for-each loop. With these benefits, the for-each loop in PHP could be your go-to tool for array operations. Let's revisit what we've learned about the for-each loop in PHP. We've embarked on a journey of understanding how this powerful feature simplifies working with arrays. We started by acknowledging the challenge of looping through arrays, and how traditional methods can sometimes be cumbersome. Then, we dived into the for-each loop, unraveling its syntax. We learned that with just a few lines of code, we can iterate through each item in an array. We covered the basic structure, for-each, followed by parentheses, inside which we specify the array and a variable to represent the current item. We also highlighted the benefits of the for-each loop. It offers a cleaner, more intuitive way of handling arrays, eliminating the need for manual index handling. This makes our code cleaner and more readable. So next time you're faced with an array in PHP, remember the for-each loop. It can make your coding experience smoother and more efficient.